Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we have the Kansas race for Hailie Deegan in the Truck Series to see how she did, as well as the Coca-Cola 600 for us in the Cup Series, a track that I think we have a pretty decent chance at winning at. Hopefully we can pull it off. We really are likely going to be a top 5 car realistically, but maybe not a winning car. But we'll have to see what we have now as we come to Hailie Deegan's race in Kansas. I said last episode that we forgot to prepare the truck for this race, so I knew we weren't going to have much speed at all. She qualified 24th, which exceeded expectations greatly, but you can see very quickly that she started to fade as we had no speed in this truck. Obviously, we had, I think, we had a 75 overall rating for this truck coming into this race. So she quickly faded back all the way to last place in 30 seconds, several seconds behind the field, and a few late race cautions allowed her to get caught up to the back of Harrison Burton in P31 as we came to the last lap on the back straightaway within range of the 51 truck as they went into turn 3, but she was not able to do anything with the speed in the truck as she came through turns 3 and through turns 4 for the final time out of turn 4. Unfortunately, a last place finish for our team and Hailie Deegan in Kansas, which was 100% my fault for forgetting to prepare the truck for the race. But I can tell you that we definitely will not forget about that in Charlotte. But this is another hit to the points that we really can't take. We've had about 3 bad races now, and that's put us way behind in the point standings, unfortunately. So maybe we might have to look at getting a win to really get into these playoffs, as she's almost 100 points out of a playoff position at this point. So we're going to have to really work hard to try and get a win, as she got a message from Ben Kennedy.
Hey, everyone's talking about how good of a driver you are out there at this point in your career, how clean you're racing. Good job and keep it up.
Very kind words from Ben Kennedy after earning a last place finish in Kansas for Hailie Deegan, unfortunately. But now it's time to come to myself in Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, a track, like I said, I think we have a pretty strong chance to run good at. Looking at the point standings now, coming into this race, you see Hailie Deegan sits in 22nd after her race. So yeah, like I said, quite a ways out for her. 8th place has 188 points, and she has 110. So she's well over 70 points behind at the very least. So we come to our qualifying lap in my cup race for the Coca-Cola 600, aiming for really a top 20 in the qualifying session. We came through turns 3, you see I got pretty loose on the entrance of the corner, and I decided after qualifying to actually change the setup a little bit. We came across the line, set a 29.2, and we got 16th for Charlotte. So let's see what we can make happen in the race.
We're at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the running of the Coca-Cola 600. This event is the longest on the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule. At 600 miles, it's a true test of endurance and patience. Tonight also marks the last time this year these drivers will race this 1.5-mile quad oval layout. When we return in October, NASCAR will unleash the Roval, a road course oval hybrid that's been the talk of the town. But that's the future. Tonight is about tradition. The Coca-Cola 600 is coming up next on PRN.
Alright, there you have it. We are ready to go green. Like I said, I put it in a different setup. I'm only using preset setups for this race because the AI is still not the fastest, as we have our pole winner, Chase Elliott, starting from P1 with Kyle Busch on his outside on the front row. As we start back in P16, no one sent to the back due to anything, so everyone is legal to start this race as we go green. The green flag is out in the Coca-Cola 600, our first attempt at it in our career with a top 15 goal position as we cross the stripe to take the green alongside the 88 of the Hendrick Motorsports driver of Alex Bowman in his American Salutes paint scheme, as you're going to see quite a few of those in this race. As you can see, I'm running the American Salutes car myself, which is a pretty nice paint scheme. A lot of them are pretty nice out here as you come through turns 3 and 4 behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17 car. You're losing some positions. Obviously, you don't want to be on the outside here on restarts like the majority of tracks, but unfortunately that's where we started as we crossed the line alongside the 31 of Ryan Newman. As we go into turns 1, we let him clear me into the corner just so I can get to the bottom so I don't lose any more positions as we get under the 17 of Stenhouse on the exit of 2 down the back straightaway. Probably going to be able to edge him out as we go into turns 3 as Newman pulls away from us, trying to go alongside Hamlin, but he's not going to get to his outside as he tries to drop in for the moment, and he leaves a hole, and we're going to fill it as we get to his inside. Force the 3 wide with him and Johnson now through the quad oval as we come across the stripe. And now Johnson loses a handful of spots in that opening lap as we pass him and try to get clear of Ryan Newman as we have run down Alex Bowman, who we started beside in this race as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway, looking to his inside as we come through turns 3 and 4. Now into our goal position as we do get ahead of the 88 Bowman for P14 now as we have a run on Denny Hamlin. And pretty much throughout this first stage was just slowly working my full way forwards as we come to lap 5 now, looking on the inside of Denny Hamlin, able to get past him as we pushed up the track a little bit, but did not make any contact with anyone as we got by Hamlin and Clint Boyer in the 14 cars. We make a diving move to the inside of Jones, and we actually just touched him on the back bumper, allowing him to get a little bit of momentum to hold me off as we moved into P12. Once again trying to get to his inside, but I just could not get down there as he's running the Circle K black, orange, and red paint scheme. Usually it's white, orange, and red, so he's got a little different configuration with the American Salute scheme going on there now as we try to clear the 20 out of turn 2, but he's going to fight back on the outside, but eventually we did work our way up to P9 behind Kyle Busch in the 18 car. And Kyle Busch, he started second in this race, and Chase Elliott just ahead of him started on pole. So your first and second place drivers quickly have fallen back to 7th and 8th as we push the 18 down the back straightaway, looking to his inside as we go into turns 3 now alongside. And the 18 is able to clear me, and we give him a little bit of a bump in the middle of the corner, but he is still able to hold on to the position now as we come to lap 13. Once again, looking to the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch as we go into turns 3. This time a little bit more successful as we just about edge him out on the exit of 4, but he is able to get the momentum once again on the exit of the corner to fight back as we cross the line. Still side by side with the 18 as we go into turns 1 now with a chance to get under the 2 of Brad Keselowski, and we do just that in the center of the corner, and we're going to clear the 18 obviously, and out of turn 2 we also clear Brad Keselowski now behind Chase Elliott in the 9, looking for P6 as we enter turns 3. The 9 makes sure we do not get to the bottom of him now as we just try to ride behind him until we get to the exit of the corner. It'll be 10 laps to go at the line in stage 1. There it is, 10 to go in stage 1 now is Jimmy Johnson. He sits behind me. He's been continuing to follow me through these cars, and he has worked his way into the top 10, so he's certainly got a pretty strong car in this race as we come down the back straightaway with a chance to get to the inside of Elliott now as we go into turns 3. But as soon as we kind of pull out of line, we lose some momentum, but thankfully we were close enough to get to the inside of the 9 and clear him. Now out of turn 4 we were able to get up to P6 as we come to lap 16. Him and Johnson battle side by side behind us now as Johnson takes a position away from Elliott for the moment now as we get a little bit loose into turns 1 and 2 as a caution comes out, the first caution of the race, as Ryan Blaney currently leads as we decided to not pit as no one else was pitting. And unfortunately we're going to be restarting on the outside again, but hopefully we can make it work here. Now the green flag is back out behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick, who starts behind his teammate of Eric Almirola on the front row as Truex is on the inside behind Ryan Blaney, looking to maybe steal a stage win out of this, as obviously the outside line does not get off to a good start as the 48 of Jimmy Johnson looks to our inside. He loses a little bit of momentum through the center of the corner, but he side drafts me a little bit down the straightaway. But now into turn 3 we try to chop his nose into turn 3, and we do just that successfully to get to the inside line under the 4 car of Kevin Harvick now on the exit of turn 4 behind the 22 of Joey Logano, who tries to take P3 away from Eric Almirola. But Harvick, he was able to clear me before we got to turn 1 and slid down in front of me. Obviously, you don't want to be on the top right now in this race, as Eric Almirola, the only car in the top 5 on the outside line, and you see just how fast He is starting to drop back as we force the 3 wide under him. And Harvick now as we go into turn 3. It's late in the stage. We want to make moves to try and get as many positions and points as possible. Now as Almirola fades back, and now alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson and he's going to continue to lose positions as he actually got into the wall a little bit. And now we come into turn 1. Harvick going to kind of chop my nose, and we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to get into his left rear and move him up the track, but he hangs on and actually pulls away down the straightaway as we are coming to just 2 laps to go in stage 1 at the line as Kyle Busch now looks to my inside in turn 3. He is not able to get there at the moment, but now we move up the track and he gets to my inside on the exit of turn 4. We try to get to his right door on the exit of the corner, but he's able to clear me anyways as we hit 2 to go in the stage as we come through turns 1. Now as we come to the last lap in the same situation, a few car lengths behind the 18, coming through turns 1 and 2 for the final time in the stage. A good gap between myself and Johnson as we try now to go to the inside of the 18 down the back straightaway with one last chance to get up to P5 before the stage is over as we look to his inside through turns 3 and 4 up the track a little bit, but it's going to work as we come out of turn 4. The 18 is going to have a run on the straightaway, but we're going to come across the line and we're going to get P5 in stage 1. A very solid start to this race. Martin Truex Jr. wins stage 1, so there's an extra playoff point. All the drivers decide to pit, and I decided we're going to put the wedge down a little bit and put the right rear tire pressure up just a little bit as well, and take 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel. And thankfully the AI also took 4 tires, so that seems to be the trend in this race, is 4 tires stops at the end of the stages, so we can kind of bank on that for the rest of the race. Now as we're ready to go green, the green is back out and stage 2 is underway from the inside line, thankfully, to restart this time behind the 12 of Ryan Blaney. We give him a little bit of a shove as we go into turns 1, trying to push him forward as Truex clears Logano on the front row as he is free to take off from the pack, as Logano is going to quickly drift back unless he can get to the bottom like Harvick has cleared me, and now he's going to look to the bottom and easily slide in there as Kyle Busch is on my outside as we hit the apron for the first time in this race, and thankfully hang on to the car and only manage to lose a few positions to Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman as we try to come up and side draft to 88 for a brief moment, but it does not work as we look into turns 1 and we hit him in the left rear, and he gets a little bit loose, but he hangs on to it with no problems. But he's probably not the happiest driver in the world after I hit him there in the left rear. As we come into turn 3 with another run on Bowman again as we come through the center of the corner, looking to his inside this time, and we are able to get ahead of the 88 and clear out of turn 4 as he now battles side by side with his teammate Jimmy Johnson in the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet as we come through into turns 1 now with Denny Hamlin once again the next car we have to catch as he looks to the inside of Joey Logano. And a few laps later now we did work our way forwards now alongside Ryan Blaney in the 12 car. We were able to get past him as we get hit in the left rear by him. We both slide up the track, but hang on to it. Fortunately, I'm not sure if I came down on him or if he came up on me, but that was just a little moment of hesitation right there as he got into my left rear, and that certainly could have gone bad real quick, but thankfully we both get through it with no problems. We did lose a few positions, obviously, to the 12, the 48, and the 2 of Brad Keselowski as we exit turn 2 behind the 2 car. Just everyone running the bottom line just about down the kind of first part of the straightaway as we come into turn 3 down to P8. And I know at this point in the race we have a fast car and it's really just kind of hard. Track position is pretty important right now, and everyone's just kind of holding that inside line as we have big trouble now down the front straightaway. Clint Boyer into the wall with the right front tire down, and he goes straight into the wall in turns 1 and 2, and surprisingly the field stayed green. I don't know what NASCAR was thinking to keep the green flag out, but they did as we come to just 2 to go, coming to the white flag in stage 2. We did get ahead of Brad Keselowski as he gets a run on me now coming to the line as we hit the white flag in stage 2. Now as we go into the entrance of turn 1, a pretty big run on the 48 car who's kind of being held up behind a whole line of cars, including Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, who leads this little group. As we come down the back straightaway, it'll be the checkered flag in stage 2 at the line as we come through turn 3, and I decide to play protective as we get onto the apron once again and thankfully hang on to the car again, but we did not lose a position this time as we come to the line and managed to hold on to P7 in stage 2, as this is the halfway point in this race, obviously being a 4-stage race as we approach the beginning of stage 3. Once again, we come to pit road and go with 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and that should be just fine. I don't think the AI is going to do any different as I put the wedge down just a little bit more to 48.4 now as we get ready to start stage 3 from P7 as everyone once again took 4 tires and we are ready to go green. The green flag is back out. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead. Obviously another playoff point added to his name after winning stage 2 as he leads us into turn 1. He easily cleared the 4 of Kevin Harvick as the outside line just cannot get going at all here in Charlotte as we battle alongside Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car down the back straightaway. Both Penske cars behind us, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski is the other Penske car. Ryan Blaney here on the outside as we look to the inside of him through turns 3 and 4, but we kind of had a little wiggle there through the center of the corner. We're losing a little bit of momentum from that as the 2 looks to my outside for a moment on my right rear as we continue to battle alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson as we go into turn 1, but we do clear the 48 for P6 now on the exit of turn 2. Blaney with a little bit of a checkup and we just barely get to his inside as we make a little bit of contact on his left rear, trying to side draft him down the back straightaway as we go into turn 3 to gain another position as Harvick. He almost got into the back of the 18 as he moved up the track, and we get to the inside of him, trying to take P4 away now as we cross the line to hit lap 3 in stage 3. As we come into turns 1, we're going to be able to pass the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, and that will put us well inside the top 5, sitting P4 to be exact now as Truex still leads, Hamlin second, Kyle Busch third as we come to lap 5 in the stage, still running P4, but we've closed up on the back of the 18 as we have a caution, now the second legitimate caution caused by another AI in this race, and that's going to be putting us on the outside row, in the second row on the outside behind Denny Hamlin. And the green flag is back out, and you see in my mirror there is a car smoking, and I'm pretty sure that's why we got a caution. And once again they stayed out and slowed up everyone who was behind them. I'm not sure who it was, obviously. I could not figure out who caused that caution, but we obviously pushed Denny Hamlin out front through turns 1 and 2, and he's about to clear the 78 down the back straightaway as Hamlin tries to take the lead. He is clear of Truex as we go into turns 3. New leader Denny Hamlin of the 11 cars get a little bit loose into turns 3. A little bit of contact made with the 18 of Kyle Busch and the exit of 4, but we do hang on to the car as he clears me down the front straightaways across the line for 14 laps to go in stage 3 as we just try to maintain our position now as we run the inside through the center of turns 1 and 2 and close right up on the back of the 18 car of Kyle Busch down the back straightaway as he tries to look to the outside of Truex for the moment, and that's going to allow me to look to his inside as we make a little bit of contact on his left rear, but thankfully no harm done there as we come out of turn 4 alongside the 18 now as we cross the line, trying to take P3 away as we look into turn 1. Hamlin with a little wide entrance as Logano sends it up the inside and hits me in the left rear, and we go into the 18 and hit the 22 again as the 18's into the wall and we hang on to the car, but Logano just sent it into turn 1 and just pushed up the track into us, and we lose a handful of positions all the way down to P10 now as Logano just made a complete idiotic move, and it really hurt me and Kyle Busch now. Obviously Kyle Busch not a driver that's very happy with me at the moment, and that's certainly not going to make him happier. Even though it wasn't my fault, we know he's probably still going to hold that against me as we try to get to the inside of Brad Keselowski as we have to now fight our way back through the field as we finally got up into the top 3, and Joey Logano ruined it all as he just completely, I guess, missed the entrance of turn 1, and we unfortunately fell victim to his mistake as Kyle Busch goes into the outside wall, now put into the outside wall, but Chase Elliott just about caused a crash there. As now we approach lap 15 in the race, we gained a couple more positions, got up to P8 now as we go into turns 1, and Denny Hamlin goes into the outside wall hard. The leader of the race is blowing the right front tire, and he is hard into the wall, and he's definitely going to wreck, and he causes a huge crash down the back straightaway. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, William Byron, everybody's involved. Half the field has been taken out down the back straightaway by Denny Hamlin, and that completely changed the back half of this field, as obviously that brought out the caution. We went green with about 5 laps remaining in stage 2. Now giving the 10 of Eric Almirola a little bit of a shove as we go into turns 1, and we make it 3 wide. That's not what my intentions were, but it ends up kind of ending that way as Kurt Busch gets forced out along the 3 wide on the very outside as he loses a handful of positions. Now into turn 3, Almirola, he looks to the inside for a moment, but we do not allow him to get down there as our teammate Jamie McMurray sits right behind us there in P6, battling with Joey Logano in the 22, who has been in the top 10 all race, and we get another caution here in Charlotte. I'm not sure what caused that one, but we're going to be restarting P5, and now I think it's going to be a 1-lap dash to the end of the stage, so we need to be aggressive now as the green flag is back out. It is confirmed a 1-lap dash to the end of the stage. White flag in stage 3 is down. We force a 3 wide right away under Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola. Now as we get to the inside of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson trying to get up to P2, right to the back bumper of the leader Martin Truex Jr., who has won every stage so far as we exit turn 2, and he is gone as the 48. We're trying to side draft him, but we are unsuccessful with the side draft as we come into turns 3. We still gained 2 positions on this final lap as we come out of turn 4, and Truex is going to hold on to win stage 3. Johnson second, and we get third to get 8 points in the third stage. Obviously, Truex with a very strong car, just like he did in the 2016 Coca-Cola 600. He completely dominated, and that's what he's doing now as we took 4 tires as usual, which has been the normal in this race as we put the wedge down just a little bit more, and we come out of pit road in 27th as the AI, for the first time in this race, took 2 tires, and we lost 24 positions on pit road from that. And now the green flag is back out to start stage 3, and I wasn't too concerned, surprisingly. I know we have a fast car, and we have 23 laps to go. We have a fast car, and we have fresher tires. I actually still think we can at the very least, get a top 10 out of this, and maybe still get a top 5, and I'm pretty confident the way this race has gone. It has been pretty crazy, and I'm pretty confident we're going to get another caution before this race is over now as we come through turns 3 on the inside of Danica Patrick, right on the back bumper, and now on the inside of the 19 and 24 of Suarez and William Byron as we cross the line behind the 43 of Bubba Wallace Jr., closing in already on the top 20 if we can just get past the 43 and one of the cars up in front of him now through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. We're going to have to look to the inside of Bubba Wallace now down through the center of the back straightaway as we approach turns 3 to get P21 from Bubba Wallace, as now Chris Buescher hung out on the outside. A lot of front end damage for him. He was likely a part of that big crash that Denny Hamlin sparked. Unfortunately, I think Hamlin DNF'd from this race. I would not be surprised at all as we look to the inside of the 38 already now in the top 20 as we take P19 from David Reagan in turns 1 as we have caught the back bumper of Matt Benedetto as we give him a little bit of a bump down the straightaway. He moves to the outside line as we continued to rally our way forward. By lap 86, we got up to P9 behind the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Now down the back straightaway with just 15 laps to go in this race, running out of time. We're going to need a caution if we want to get up towards the top 5 with the leaders. As you can see, they are quite a ways ahead as they are approaching the line right now as they cross it. So we're a few seconds behind, unfortunately, 2.6 to be exact, behind the leader now as we come into turns 1 as Truex still leads us now. Keselowski makes an ambitious move to the inside of Austin Dillon through the exit of turn 2. We get to the inside of him as well, and we are able to gain another position as we have trouble on lap 87. Around goes the 15 of Chastain, and he's going to collect Greg Galding, and the caution is going to come out. And now the leaderboard deemed us not clear or not ahead of the 3 car of Austin Dillon, and that was actually a good thing as we're going to be restarting on the inside now with not many laps to go, but we're going to have a chance now to get up to the top 5. It's going to be 11 to go as we cross the line. The green flag is back out behind the 2 of Keselowski as we make it 3 wide with him and the 3 of Austin Dillon as we go into turns 1, trying to gain as many positions as I can before we kind of get going up to speed and spread spread out as we come out of turns 2. Now alongside the 2 of Keselowski down the back straightaway behind the 9 of Chase Elliott, who has a lot of back end damage, obviously, from the incident involving Denny Hamlin earlier, as obviously so many cars crash. As we get into the back of him on the exit of 4, he gets a little bit loose, but he hangs on to the car as we have just 10 to go, as Jimmy Johnson works his way up to P2. He's in a pretty good position to maybe steal a victory from Truex in this race, as Logano sits P3 as we get into the back of Elliott on the exit of 2. Now down the back straightaway, giving him a shove that he needs as we look to the inside for the moment. And we did work our way up all the way to P3 in the race. Late in the race, as you see Truex and Johnson both held up by Ross Chastain, who wrecked earlier in this race, and that allowed me and Keselowski to get to them now as we look to the inside of the 48 as he tries to make a move to the lead, but Chastain's going to come up and block him as we force a 3 wide as we cross the line with 6 laps to go, trying to get our first career victory, as Chastain comes down in front of me now through turns 1 and 2 as we try to get the lead, but this slow car is not helping us at all now as Truex looks to his outside down the back straightaway, as Johnson's now on my outside as we need to try and make a move fast as we come into turns 3. We get hit by the 2 and into Chastain we go, and he goes around, and that's going to bring out a caution. As Chastain now hits the inside wall pretty hard, and certainly he deserved that 100%. He was in the way blocking the leaders as a lapped car, and he deserved that. But now we're going to have a chance to go for the win now with, I think, probably about 2 laps to go. It's not overtime, but it is going to be 2 laps to go. And Charlotte starting behind the 78 of Truex, trying to get our first career victory. We're going to have to steal it now as we come across the line. 2 to go in this race now. We go to the inside right off the bat, making it 3 wide with him in the 48 of Jimmy Johnson as we come through turns 1 and 2. We have to clear the 78, otherwise we're probably not going to win. As we come into turn 2, he hangs on my right rear, and now side by side down the back straightaway, he will clear me as we come down through into turns 3. Truex is your leader. Unfortunately, as we send it into turns 3, trying to get to his back bumper and maybe move him up the track, but we're unsuccessful as we come into turn 4 now as Kurt Busch looks on my back bumper for P3 as we cross the line. White flag is in the air as we come through turns 1 and 2 for the final time, trying as hard as I can to get to the back of the 78, but I just can't get there as we hit the apron, and that's going to certainly end our chances as we come down the back straightaway trying to hold off Kurt Busch. And now Keselowski behind him as we come into turns 3 for the final time as we kind of screw up the entrance of the corner, and that's going to allow the 41 and the 4 to get to my inside as the 41 clears me, and Harvick's going to edge me out as we cross the line now for P4 in Charlotte. A solid finish for one of the craziest races I've ever been a part of in NASCAR Heat 3. It was honestly crazy. Martin Truex Jr. dominates this race, wins stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 as he picks up 8 playoff points, I believe, in this race, so good job for him. I'm not a Truex fan, I really do not like him, but obviously he put a great race together. Now as we sit 7th in the regular point standings, but in the playoff standings, that's a different story, as we've had so many different winners, as we have come up short once again trying to get that first career win. As Matt DiBenedetto, he's not very happy. We apologize to him, and we also apologize to Keselowski, which we didn't need to anyways because he was already a really good friend. But next will be the truck race in Charlotte. For some reason, the truck series is like a week behind in this game, I think, which is kind of odd. But yeah, it'll be Charlotte for trucks, and we'll see how Hailie Deegan does there, and Pocono in Cup. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. As you see, we sit P14 in the playoff standings simply because we don't have a win. We should be like 6th or 7th. But I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good day, everybody.